What holds more power? Is it the dazzling exterior we see right away, or maybe the quiet strength hiding inside? Something to think about.
Interesting question.
Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take some really fascinating material this time, something one of you shared, which is great, and we dig into it.
Yeah, we pull out the core ideas, the insights.
Exactly.
And today's deep dive, it takes us into this really rich story. It's a tale about a king, his 3 daughters.
Right.
And, well, a marriage that looks like a total disaster at first, but it ends up becoming something quite remarkable.
So our mission today.
Our mission is to really explore the messages underneath, the moral lessons, the symbols woven into this compelling narrative.
Okay, so it kicks off with the king asking his daughters this pretty interesting question.
Yeah, he asks them, does the lining hold the fabric or does the fabric hold the lining?
And the 2 older daughters, they kind of go with the obvious, right? The fabric.
Predictable, maybe, but the youngest daughter, she sees it differently.
She argues that the lining, the inside part, that's what gives the real support.
And that difference in perspective, it's fascinating, isn't it?
It really is.
Her view seems to suggest this deeper understanding, like maybe the real strength, the value, it's in what you don't see right away.
But the king, he wasn't happy.
No, he got really angry about her answer, which kind of sets up this core question for us, doesn't it? Like, is just agreeing with someone always the same as truly understanding?
And can what seems valuable on the surface actually hide something else entirely?
Exactly.
So in his anger, he banishes her. Just like that.
Gone. And then, pretty quickly, he decides the other 2 need husbands.
And his method is, well, unique. A quince-throwing ceremony.
Seriously. He has them throw quince?
Yep. They throw fruit at the guys they like. A bit direct, maybe?
Efficient, I guess.
Yeah.
But wow, what a contrast to what happens to the youngest daughter.
Oh, absolutely. While they're doing their quince tossing, the king has a totally different plan for the banished one.
He orders his people to gather up, and this is the quote, the blind, bald, and lame.
Ooh. That really sets the stage for something grim, doesn't it? Highlighting the unfairness.
It feels incredibly cruel. And then comes the twist that's just shocking.
Yeah, he forces his youngest daughter to marry this young man who's described as lazy and useless.
And where do they find him?
Hiding. In a basket. Inside an oven. At some old woman's house.
You can't make this stuff up. An oven.
I know. So grand weddings for the sisters and, well, this for her, it really makes you question the king's judgment, his idea of value.
It really does. It seems like rock bottom for her, like how could things get worse?
But here's where the story flips. It's actually captivating.
Right, because she doesn't just give up. Her response is incredible. It shifts to show her inner strength.
That whole lining holding the fabric idea starts to play out right here.
Exactly. This daughter, who seems to have gotten the worst deal possible, she starts working with her husband.
Slowly, patiently, she motivates him.
Yeah, she gets him walking, encourages him to find work, and he does. He actually develops skills, becomes a servant for a merchant.
It's the first real proof, isn't it, that her insight about the lining, about inner strength, was spot on.
Precisely. Her own resourcefulness, her refusal to just accept things, starts changing his whole situation. It makes you think, how often do we underestimate that inner drive?
Totally. So their journey continues. They're with these merchants, crossing this really desolate plain.
No water, no civilization, just emptiness.
And there's this well, but it's not just any well.
No, it has this dark reputation. Spooky.
They say anyone who goes down just doesn't come back up.
So naturally, the merchants are terrified. They decide to draw lots.
To see who gets the privilege of going down.
And the short straw goes to the master's servant, our guy.
Understandably, he's freaking out. He begs Hassan, remember that's the husband, the once lazy one, to go instead.
And he offers him a deal, right?
A big one. Half his merchandise. And crucially, they put it in writing. Smart move. It shows how fear can sometimes create these unexpected openings,
Definitely. So Hassan, holding this written promise, bravely goes down the well.
And what's down there? Not what you'd expect, probably.
Not at all. He finds a throne, and there's a demon sitting on it.
Whoa, God.
But Hassan's reaction is key. He doesn't panic. He offers a respectful greeting.
Clever. Probably saved him right there.
Seems like it. The demon then asks him this really simple but deep question. Where is it good?
And Hassan's answer?
Where the heart is good.
Wow. That's insightful.
Apparently the demon thought so too. It was pleased, and it gave Hassan a gift. Pomegranates.
Pomegranates, huh? Seems kind of ordinary, but given the source.
Exactly. We'll circle back to those.
Yeah.
So Hassan draws the water, comes back up safely.
And collects his payment.
Yep. Gets his half of the merchandise, just like promised. Quite the turnaround for him.
Huge turnaround. So they continue their journey, reach the city they were heading for, and find lodging.
At a caravanserai. And while the other merchants go off looking for fun, Hassan stays with his goods. Wise move.
Very wise, because unbeknownst to everyone, the owner of this place has a secret.
Uh-oh. Another hidden danger? This story is full of them.
This one's big. The owner is secretly hiding 40 thieves in the basement.
40 thieves? Seriously?
Right.
Waiting to rob the merchants.
That's the plan. Talk about betrayal.
Okay, but before that unfolds, the pomegranates.
Right. While this plot is brewing, Hassan sends 2 of those pomegranates back home, to his mother and his wife.
And when his wife opens one...
It's not just seeds inside, it's full of ruby seeds.
Rubies, just like that. From a pomegranate given by a demon in a well.
Incredible, right? Instant, unexpected wealth, a direct result of Hassan's courage and wisdom.
So what does she do with this fortune?
She commissions a palace, a magnificent one, even bigger and more beautiful than her father, the king's palace.
Wow. This woman, cast aside, forgotten. She's building this symbol of power and success, all on her own initiative.
It really shows her strength, her vision. That lining is definitely holding things together here.
It absolutely is. And the rubies themselves, what a symbol. Unexpected fortune, transformation.
Meanwhile, back at the risky caravanserai,
Right, the 40 thieves.
Hassan wakes up in the middle of the night and he sees them.
Sees them coming out of a hidden door.
Exactly. Sneaking out and stealing everything from the other merchants.
Oh, devastating for them. They must have been in despair.
Totally. They complain to the local ruler, but nothing happens. Days go by, goods are still gone.
And this is where Hassan steps in again.
You got it. He's really grown, hasn't he? He goes to the merchants with a bold offer.
What does he propose?
He says he'll get their stuff back, but they have to make him their head merchant.
Ooh, smart. Leveraging the situation.
He wants 10% of everything he recovers.
Huh. They must have been desperate. Did they agree?
They did. You gotta admire his nerve, his understanding of the moment.
But he doesn't stop there, does he? He needs authority.
Exactly. He goes to the governor and asks for temporary ruling power, just for one day.
And the governor says yes.
The governor agrees. It shows how much Hassan has changed, how persuasive he's become.
Incredible. Seizing the moment.
So Hassan, acting as the temporary ruler, marches over to the caravanserai,
Finds the hidden basement.
retrieves all the stolen goods, his own wealth and status just keep climbing. It's an amazing transformation.
It really is. Shows his cleverness, his grasp of authority. A total shift from that guy in the oven.
So he returns home, probably expecting, a normal reunion.
And finds a palace instead. Built by his wife.
Can you imagine? He's overjoyed. And she, very strategically, tells him he needs to be the one to invite the king.
The first invitation to their new palace has to come from Hassan. Ooh, clever.
Setting the stage, right. It challenges the king's whole perception of Hassan from the start.
Definitely. So Hassan goes back, invites the king.
And the king arrives, sees this unbelievably lavish palace, way grander than his own. He's stunned.
And probably thinking, who is this guy?
He even says something like, wow, I wish this guy was my son-in-law. Little does he know.
And then comes the big reveal.
Perfectly timed. The wife steps out from behind a curtain.
Reveals herself. The king must have been floored.
Utterly astonished. Suddenly it all makes sense.
So what happens? Do they reconcile?
Yes. An agreement is made. She returns to the palace. And in this beautiful full circle moment, she and Hassan are honorably remarried. A proper grand wedding this time.
A true triumph for her. For both of them, really.
And then she gets the last word with her father, the mic drop moment.
What does she say?
She looks right at the king and says basically, see, I told you, it is the lining that holds the fabric. I was the one who turned that useless boy into the man standing before you.
Boom. Just lays it out there.
And the king, humbled, deeply impressed. He praises her, gives them even more estates. What an ending.
What a story. It's packed with meaning, isn't it?
Absolutely. That core message about inner strength, resilience, being more important than just outward appearances. It's so powerful.
And we see that potential for transformation, how people can change, how circumstances can change. Loyalty, cleverness, they're valued too.
It really drives home that true worth can be hidden. You can't always judge by the surface.
And the symbols add so much depth too.
For sure. The pomegranate, bursting with those unexpected rubies, it's such a clear symbol of hidden potential, of fortune you didn't see coming.
Right. And the well.
Yeah.
Is that dangerous trip down? It's like a trial for Hassan, isn't it?
Yeah.
A place where he's tested and finds something
A
profound.
revelation, yeah. And the palace obviously stands for that earned success built on the wife's vision and their combined efforts.
It really is a timeless tale. It encourages you, the listener, to look deeper, doesn't it? To appreciate the power that might be hiding in unexpected places or inside people who seem ordinary.
Well, that wraps up this deep dive into a truly captivating story. We hope you enjoyed exploring it with us.
Yeah, and if you did, please think about subscribing to Iranian Things. We do more explorations like this into, well, all sorts of fascinating corners of Iranian culture.
And hey, if you found this insightful, leave us a comment, maybe a like. We genuinely love hearing what you think.
This was actually the 147th deep dive of Iranian Things.
Hi, I'm Q Mars.
And I'm Tanas.
Here at Iranian Things, we really like to get into the lesser-known stuff about Iran. We focus a lot on folklore, like today.
Mythology, too, and sometimes even a bit of cryptozoology for those of you who like the really mysterious side of things.
You can always check out our playlist for other deep dives we've done on related topics. There's quite a back catalog now.
Definitely worth exploring.
And finally, just something to leave you with, thinking about the youngest daughter and her incredible journey. Consider this. What seemingly insignificant linings might exist in your own life right now? You know, things holding untapped power, real potential for remarkable growth.